say to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover like Let's start a new tradition, no religion.
What's up? What's up? What's up? You are tuned in to Artist2Artist. I'm your host, Shep. We're playing the sounds of my brother, my good brother, Jamel Lewis. His hot single, New Tradition. We're going to let this play a little bit. We're going to get into some of the topics of the day. I got my homie Jamel Lewis. We're going to talk to him about his career, his life, things he's been doing, things he's been working on. But first, I just got to let this ride out, man. This song is so hot by yourself.
If the words say to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover?
Yeah.
If you don't know me well,
I don't know you well.
We don't know each other, so we don't need to judge.
Hey.
If the words say to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover?
Yeah.
If you don't know me well, I don't know you well. We don't know each other, so we don't need to judge.
This song is so appropriate for right now.
The devil is a lie. While we preaching to the choir,
Yeah.
The choir ain't listening, cause we done lost the fire. And we don't understand you like you speaking through the wire.
Man, what is you saying, bro?
Like it's too much static. What about the drug dealer? What about the crack addict?
No.
And what's the prostitute to do when she hurt now? The alcoholic act up, just tell him sit down.
Yeah.
A whole lot of drama in the air. You done found us in the place where we don't care. I'm hoping y'all ain't mad at me. I'm just trying to find a strategy. Sometimes it's like we don't care at all. We just wanna talk.
It's my joint right here.
Past they drama.
I just gotta let this play right here. I can't even say nothing.
If the words say to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover like
Hey.
If you don't know me well, I don't know you well. We don't know each other, so we don't need to judge. If the words say to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover like
All right. So, my brother Jamel Lewis, he's going to join us in a second. I know he's already in here on this show. I want to start off by thanking everybody for tuning in, and feel free to share this this show and post it on your page. And I really have been so appreciative of everyone who has sent their support. Got a phone call yesterday from someone who I really, really admire, saying that they had tuned in and they were enjoying everything that they heard. And, you know, it's my desire of this show to bring insight and inspiration to artists, for artists, to artists, right? So I want to dive in today. There's a couple topics I want to jump in on. Not going to stay on this one topic too long, but I would be remiss if I did not mention that Mr. Bill Cosby was just found guilty. Let's see how many counts it was. The sexual assault rape charges. Let me pull that up so I can be accurate in what I'm saying. I don't want to be misquoted. So Bill Cosby, guilty on all 3 counts in indecent assault trial. I'm at a loss for words because, like many of you who are watching, I'm sure the Cosby Show has meant something in your life as a kid. Bill Cosby, growing up, seeing him as a dad. When I see Bill Cosby, I see him as a dad. And so, you know, I wasn't on this jury, so I don't know what the evidence was. So, you know, you want to keep, when things come out against people who you admire or you love or you appreciate, you're always going to go to that place of, I want to remember them for this, and I'm not going to ever see them as someone who was a monster or someone who was horrible. So the jury found him guilty, and that's a tough pill to swallow. And I'm not going to talk too much more about this Bill Cosby case because I was not prepared to talk about that today. So I'm going to leave that. I'm really going to leave that one alone because I really don't have too much more to say about that. But Bill Cosby found guilty on all three accounts of sexual assault. So I want to segue because yesterday was very interesting with our boy Kanye West, Mr. West in the building, Yeezy, whatever you want to call him. Been a huge Kanye West fan since day one. In fact, when Kanye first dropped College Dropout, I was digging his style so much. I was doing the whole polo joint, and people, I was actually in a grocery store and was mistaken for Kanye. Like when I was younger, that was always a thing. Man, you look like Kanye West. And so I've always been a Kanye West fan from day one. And so the things that Kanye was tweeting yesterday about his and I want to pull up what he said exactly because I want to be accurate. I don't want to paraphrase anything because paraphrasing will get you in trouble, number one. Let's see. So Kanye West goes to Twitter yesterday, and you know he's getting prepared to release his new project, and I think he's got 2 records coming out. One is a solo project, and one is he's got one coming out with Kid Cudi, I believe. And so he announced that last week. So Kanye goes through these waves of being very, very active on Twitter or doing interviews or speaking. Kanye is either very talkative, like extremely talkative, like full of stuff to say, or he's mute. So we have not heard Kanye say anything in a year at least. Nothing. I believe the tour got shut down prematurely. He stopped the tour. He was going on rants on the tour and shut down. St. Pablo tour done. And so we have not really heard him on social media, heard or seen him in social media. He kind of just becomes this recluse and he goes away. And so he made some statements. Let's see. Wow, he's really been saying a lot. Dude, he's got so much on his Twitter feed from the past 2 hours. Goodness gracious. All right. So basically, I'm going to have to paraphrase because bro has really been blowing up his Twitter in the past 24 hours. So, okay, I'm almost there. Man, he was saying that he loves Donald Trump. He used those exact words, that he has love for him, but does not agree with everything that he's saying. And he was seen wearing a Make America Great Again hat and, you know, and some really unflattering pictures. He's really gained a lot of weight. I don't know what's going on with him. But this is what I want to say. I saw a lot of people being extremely critical of Kanye. So sorry, y'all. I got a phone call coming in. My phone is on Do Not Disturb. Oh, maybe it's not. All right, I'm gonna have to handle that. I saw a lot of comments being directed towards Kanye about what he was talking about with Donald Trump. Harsh criticism. like really harsh, and not saying that it wasn't justified, because some of the stuff he was saying was like, bro, what's going on? But some people I want to challenge, especially artists. Is this not what we fell in love with Kanye? Is this not, you see, because a lot of people say, I want the old Kanye. My challenge to you is this not the old Kanye? Is this not what to be expected from Kanye? Is this not what Kanye has always given us? But because he's not saying something you agree with right now, now he's got you so upset and incensed in what he's saying, you want him to just go away. Now, I saw someone posting, and, you know, it's a pretty well-known comedian, and he was talking about him, and he was giving commentary about Kanye, and he was like, man, just make the music, man. Just stop talking and make music. And I had to think about it. That comedian, who I don't know personally, so I haven't had a chance to reach out to this person, so I don't know this person personally. But I was thinking, the same person who told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, we got mad at her for saying shut up and dribble. So now we're telling Kanye shut up and make music. That woman told LeBron to shut up and dribble because your job is to dribble a basketball. You are not allowed to have free thought. But we tell Kanye, we got upset at her. We wanted her fired. We wanted her to be put out. But now Kanye has free thought, freedom of speech, and said, I have love for Donald Trump. Then he also said, if Hillary Clinton would have won, I have love for her too. I wouldn't tell anybody to not support Hillary Clinton because I love her too. I love everybody. Inside of that statement, he got barbecued. He got roasted. He got memes created about him, telling him that he needs to shut up. He needs to just go stick to music. That's the same equivalent, people, of the woman who told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. I want to shift our thoughts. I'm not sitting here supporting what he said, or I'm not getting into the political part of it. What I am getting into is the part that we cannot have it both ways. We cannot get upset when a woman tells LeBron to shut up and dribble, but you tell Kanye to shut up and make music. It's the same exact thing. As an artist, think about what Kanye has always done. Always. Kanye, people have always been afraid of Kanye in a live television setting because you never know what he's going to do or say. He's always going to be the guy that's going to be the wild card. So what's happening now, especially in culture, black culture, especially in the artist culture, we love Kanye when he was doing I go for mine, I got to shine, when he was making songs with T-Pain. We loved Kanye then. Man, ooh, boy, I rock with you. I rock with you. Yeah, I rock with you. But he was always that dude that was doing something a little different. And he walked on stage and told Taylor Swift, your video was not better than Beyonce's. He told her that in the middle of a show. And we was all like, yeah, man, he was true, though. That boy crazy. That boy crazy, man. Man, Kanye, you know what, man? You crazy. The same Kanye that told Taylor Swift you didn't deserve this award is the same Kanye who tweeted yesterday. That's the same Kanye. So if you loved him in 2009, how come you don't love him right now? And to his point, he made some comments about President Barack Obama, about how, you know, and I don't necessarily agree with what he said, but I want to unpack this thing because this is a lot deeper than what we're making it. Number one, no one person can rescue a city. The only one rescuer of mankind is Jesus Christ. That's what I believe, period, point blank. Kanye can't rescue Chicago. Barack Obama couldn't rescue Chicago. Chance the Rapper can't rescue Chicago. So Kanye is going on a rant about Chicago and Barack Obama. Okay, I don't agree with him with what he said that Obama didn't do. I don't agree with that because there's nothing that one person can do to rescue a city. But this is something that was very important. He talked about how he wanted to have a meeting with President Barack Obama while he was in the White House. All these other performers and rappers and singers got to go to the White House. R. Kelly performed at the inauguration. Jay-Z performed. Beyonce performed. Kanye did not get the invite. Kanye was not invited to the White House. He did not get a chance to speak to Barack Obama. Now, I'm going to play a clip of something President Barack Obama said in 2009 about Kanye West after the Taylor Swift incident. I'm going to play this clip. If it pulls up. Here we go.
Is it video? Okay, great, thanks. This is video of the President of the United States calling Kanye West a jackass after Kanye West went out the other day during the MTV Awards and decided that he should be the guy who decides who wins an award over Beyonce. It's kind of interesting. We want you to listen to it, and then we're going to talk about it with Roland.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
No.
So, President Barack Obama, in 2009, at the height of his presidency, as popular as he ever was, fresh off inauguration, hope, all that good stuff, calling this man out of his name. He never took time to talk to that brother. There's hurt and pain right now. So understanding what he said about President Obama, there's a lot of truth inside of that. We don't want to unpack these things because it's tough. It's tough to talk about. Marco, it's like saying I love Governor Bruce Rauner in Illinois when he's blocking funding. So, okay, I mean, if the word says that, I'm going to go back to the song that Jamel Lewis wrote, and I'm about to pull him in here. If the word said to love one another, then why we judge?
You don't get to decide who you love. You don't get to decide that. So you loving him is conditional upon him not giving funding. You don't get to decide that. That's not our decision. If we're gonna be that, if President Obama can speak his mind, so can Kanye. Exactly, Pastor Keith. We got my homeboy Jamel Lewis in the building. You said he doesn't love the devil. Okay, well, if you wanna call a person the devil, that's your prerogative. And I really don't want to go to this direction because I'm not trying to make this political. I want to make this about art. And the artist that Kanye has always been, he's always been extremely uncomfortable, awkward in what in his dealings in front of people. When he got up and said George Bush doesn't like black people, that was one of the most uncomfortable rants we've ever heard on television. Every time I see it, I cringe. It's like, oh, how you say that? Like, he said it though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got my boy Jamel Lewis in the house. I'm so appreciative of him. I want to start with that song, New Tradition, because it's so profound. And
I appreciate
the lyrical content. Every time can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Every time I hear that song, bro, it's like I hear it for the first time.
Man.
The first line, if the word said to love one another, then why we judging every book by the cover?
Yeah.
That first line of the song, where did that come from? What space were you in when you wrote that?
Boy, oh boy. Honestly, the same space I'm in now, because I see it every day. We do it every day, and it's not to say that even God hasn't given us discernment or the ability to judge certain things that we see or hear, things like that. But it's just like, even in context with the Kanye West thing, my question is, like you said, he's always been that way, and
Right.
and also it's kind of like you get to the point where it's like even our expectations of certain things and certain people are in either in the wrong places or even too drastic. So like, I just don't think we put ourselves in other people's shoes, so to speak, or even like you said, just being willing to unpack certain things. You know what I mean? So even when you break down Kanye West versus President Obama, it's kind of like on the surface I think a lot of times we build our opinion based on the surface without going deeper and really seeing either why people are the way they are, or even looking at ourselves in situations and saying, I've been this way, or if I were in that person's shoes, different things like that. So that song comes from all of those places, whether it be the church, politics, whatever. You know, even being an artist, we all are judged at the end of the day. And honestly, I feel like the last thing us want to be is judged. So it's simply just like, man, if God has called us and told us to love each other, oh man, you just kind of wish it could be that simple. It's not, but you wish it could be. So that's where I was, that's where I am.
Right.
So,
and so what do you feel is the responsibility? It's a loaded question, you know, so maybe it's your personal, let me make it your personal responsibility, because I believe everyone has the responsibilities are going to be divvied up. So, you know, with me having 2 children, my son's job that I have him to do may be different what I have my daughter to do. And then there's going to be some things that I have them both do. But if I told him, go take the trash out, you go take the trash out. If I told her, go clean up your room, go clean up your room. Now, he shouldn't be upset that it's time to take out the trash. Right? So, where I want to go with this is, as an artist, what is your personal responsibility that you feel to be either socially conscious, political? Like, what is the balance that you feel is weighed upon you as an artist to say, you know what, I'm conscious enough that I'm going to speak on this. This is my calling. I'm going to talk about this or that.
Well, honestly, in terms of responsibility, through my eyes, the way I see things, like I feel like using this Kanye West situation as an example, I feel like overall everybody has an agenda. Everyone has something they stand for, they believe in, something they're against, all of those things. My way of thinking, even as an artist, and as how I approach the way I present myself is, I really just feel like I want people to be willing to be more open. If I can do anything, like you say, even this right here, being able to have these types of conversations and just be open versus being, I'll say, overly opinionated. I never even want to be that way myself. I have my opinion of Kanye West. I have my opinion of President Obama. I have my opinion of President Donald Trump. I have my opinion of all of those people. But I feel like I have been called to be as positive and as encouraging as I can be. So even in some of those conversations, whether it be political or other, I kind of don't necessarily even like to give so much of my opinion of things versus not versus, but instead of at least opening up and unpacking the conversation. I am to the point now where I am ready to have further conversation and go deeper on certain things than I have in the past, because I never wanted to be even, as you say, unbalanced. When you say, okay, Kanye West, to me, looking at the situation as a whole, this is who he has been. When I could say, let's say over a year ago, we was almost thinking he was going to run for president. And some people was even with that. So it's like.
Or was on the verge of suicide.
True. So it's like, is it,
because actually it was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago that we were thinking. Yeah.
Got you.
2 years ago, like, it was when he was.
So what I'm saying is, even in the way we judge people, we're judging him on the surface. If 2 years ago you could have been ready for him to be president, then a year later, oh, he's going crazy, he's ready to commit suicide, and something's wrong. And now Donald Trump, even the fact, he's got gold hair now. It's like, come on, man. Is he the only one with the problem, or are we unbalanced? Are we in some ways unfocused or not willing to, like I said, really unpack things? So I'm looking at myself even now in that same way, where it's like, instead of me just saying, oh, Kanye tripping again, let's dig deeper. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. Because it's not just him.
Right.
It's everything from the Starbucks situation to, like you mentioned today, to the Bill Cosby situation. We have so many opinions based on what we've heard, what we've seen, whatever amount that we know, and we run. It's the first thing we do. Anytime you hear a story, it doesn't even have to be celebrities. Anytime we hear a story, it's like, man, do you hear that story and do you run with it? Do you call your homie? Do you call your girlfriends? Do you run with it? Or do you stop and say, honestly, man, Kanye West is all of the above. He may be all of the above. Bill Cosby, you got one people that'll say, all the women are lying. You got another person that'll say, no, ain't no way 62 women are lying. And da-da-da-da-da. It's like, dude, everybody's going to have a take on whatever it is. So I feel like I'm just kind of tired of seeing us judge each other's agenda. Not to say that we agree with each other's agenda, but in some ways, some people are even fighting fights that affect you, that could affect you in a positive way. But when it's not your agenda, you criticize it.
And I want to say something right here.
I'm willing to take Kanye saying, I love him. I'll take that.
Right. Let me say this here. Let me say this right here. There have been people, and I want to even roll back to a point of what I was saying earlier, where there are some people I've just kind of been like scrolling and seeing that people are like, oh, okay, he's just trying to promote his new project. He's just doing this in the name of marketing. He's just doing this in the name of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, first of all, let's roll this back. Number one, Kanye doesn't need to sell any more music. Let's be clear.
True.
Kanye does not need to sell any more music. He's been clear about that. He stated that he does not need to sell any more music. He would love to. He would love to be number one, but he doesn't need it. He does music because that's his first love. That's his first passion. And he's been diving into fashion and other stuff. So the whole notion that he's only doing this to market, it's like, well, let's roll it back and see. Let's check the tape. Let's check the tape. Whenever he talks, he can be a bundle of confusion. Every time he opens his mouth, you ready for him to say something that's like, man, bro, like Now I see why you don't talk a lot.
Right.
So even like when you start talking about motives, like some people say, oh yeah, you know, he just doing this to sell records. It's like, well, if we really, and another reason why I do this show, to help you guys to understand the business is not what it used to be. Nobody can predict what they're going to sell anymore. Nobody, from Jay-Z to Beyonce to Lady Gaga, they can't predict what's going to sell. They don't know that.
This is not the way to promote an album, Kanye. Like that would. Yeah,
it's not the way to promote an album. This is not your traditional rollout of an album. So as I go to his Twitter page, I'm on his Twitter page. This dude has not like stopped tweeting, period. Like about random stuff. It wasn't just about Donald Trump. It's the fact that he's like, I've been holding in stuff for a whole year. I just want to put myself out there as a person, as a thinker, as an artist, whether you agree with him or not. Like I said, I'm not here to agree with his thoughts. But what I am here to do as an artist, like I said yesterday, is say, wait a minute, hold on. As artists begin to judge and label other artists, it's like, wait a minute now. Now, this dude has been doing this for quite a bit of time. And we loved it when he took the award from Taylor Swift and did the shrug. We laughed so hard at that. It was funny.
But see, let me go back though.
Oh no, man. Go ahead.
But see, my thing is, number one, why does it, to me, it seems as if sometimes we feel like we have to agree. We have to agree. I wasn't excited with the Taylor Swift thing. Back then, I was still saying in my mind, yeah, that's Kanye. That's just what it is. You know.
Right. Even
down to the video. Like, why do I have to agree with Kanye West with the way he feels about Taylor Swift's video versus Beyonce's video? Why do I have to agree with him now with whatever he's saying about, you know, either president or where he stands or how he feels? Like, why do we always have to agree? And why is it almost like, why do we throw people away when we don't agree? Like,
right.
That's the part that gets me.
And
that's the part to me.
And then
it's the same Kanye. So why are we throwing him away now?
It's the same. And then even thinking about the comments that President Obama made about him, you know, Kanye's super sensitive. So when he heard when he heard what he said about him, they asked him how he felt. He was like, I was hurt.
Yeah.
That President Obama said that about me. You saying it in front of all these white folks that's sitting there and they are cracking up. Oh my God, he called Kanye a jack. They're cracking up at that. So now it's like, well, now we've got permission to say whatever we want about this guy because the first black president has denounced him openly. Good.
Yep. Got him.
Rather than saying, you know what, Kanye, that was probably a low class move. I'm going to sit down and talk to him. Now, what would that have done? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to. Kanye's a grown man. You know, he's dressing even weirder than ever now. Like he's like, I don't know fam is going through something. He's got like, I'm like.
That's honestly what I believe. That's honestly just what I believe. That's simply where I leave it, bro. That's where I leave it.
His swag is gone. I don't see no
swag,
on,
bro.
Something going on. Hey, I don't know what's going on.
Them shoes too, bro. The shoes too. I'm not with the shoes, bro. I'm not ready.
The whole deal, it was like, dude, he was dressed like my dad, bro.
Come on, man.
He was dressed like my dad would throw on my dad would throw on like the most random cap. Like my dad wears caps all the time with like a random sweatshirt. I was like, you are dressed.
They wear caps. You're right. That's a cap. Where's my cap?
I want to move to some other stuff because I really want to dive into who you are. As for those of you all who are just joining us, this is Artist to Artist. It's a brand new show. This is episode 3. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for liking it. Thank you for your comments. Some of you all are just coming in like, what is this? What's happening here? And you're just listening. Cool. Just sit in and listen. And I have my good friend, my good brother, Jamel Lewis. I think I met Jamel in like 2003, something like that. It's been a minute. 2002, maybe even before that, maybe 01. We met through a mutual friend, Rachel Robinson, and Jamel is one of the dopest vocalists you'll ever hear. And tell the people like how you got your start singing. Like, where does your passion for music and singing come from?
Hey, bro, I thank God, man. I was born with it. Mom and dad, even my grandparents, musicians. My father was a great organist and piano player and singer. My mom, phenomenal singer. You know, we both came up and did the Sunday Best Thing together. So that's just what it is. We was in church. We was in the crib playing church. All of that. My oldest brother played the piano and the drums. My sister sings. So like, we was playing church in the crib, bro, since I was a shorty. So forever. That's how long we've been at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you know that you had something special as far as your voice? When did you know, like, I want to record, I want to sing, I want to write? Was there a moment, or was it just a period of time where you just kind of fell into it? Or was there like an aha moment that took you to that point?
I would say maybe overall, for even from childhood, there was always like kind of like a natural progression of, I kind of noticed early on, because as much as I love music, as much as I love singing and all that, you know, I was never afraid to be on stage or anything like that, really. I also noticed, I always found myself being the one, for whatever reason, I was usually the one that was selected. I never even felt personally like, you know, on my own, just like, oh, I'm this good, or I know I could sing this, or I know I could do that. But I always kind of seemed to kind of be like, even if I wasn't anywhere like outwardly just being like noticed, it was still like, if I was in a choir, if I was in a little group or whatever the case is, if there's a performance or something going on, I almost kind of seemed like I would end up with the mic singing, you know, in a positive way. So like, from childhood to high school, you know, the different little talent shows and things like that, I loved to do it, was just never afraid to do it. And it honestly just kind of came so natural. Like I say, even coming from, you know, being, you know, in my family, you know, down the line. So like, kind of early on, and then once I got out of high school, it was like, that's when I personally made the decision, like, this is what I'm on. This is really all I want to do. Even when it came down to trying to decide like school, you know, what to study, or school versus work, it was always like, you know what, I'm gonna work at this, because this is really, really, really just what I want to do. So I knew it early on, and like I said, also always just getting that vibe of like, God always had a place for me in different situations. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just always kind of.
Charles Alexander. So Charles is asking me to ask you about
another one of the
Kenwood talent show swag. What's that about?
So
shout out to Charles Alexander.
Hey, what up, bruh? So back to the question, like you said, when did I know? And let's tie talent show in.
Yeah.
Me and Charles, actually, we had a singing group. We tried to go the gospel route, but we stopped once we came up with the first name. We came up with the first name. The first name was Too Blessed. So that ended our gospel career. That ended it. Our gospel career
The
was
number
over,
2
just by the name
or
alone.
T-O-O?
It would have been a number 2 Blessed.
Oh, bro.
So that ended that. And then we looked up, we wrote a song called Love Don't Cost a Thing. And we got in the talent show, and we won the talent show. Only thing that stopped that is after that we graduated, and Charles went on to college and left me. So I still feel a certain type of way about that. He left me on my own, but we won the talent show, and we kept it going from there.
Too Blessed.
Too Blessed. We'll have to bring that back. Too Blessed.
Bro.
Too Blessed.
Bring that back.
Yeah, so
talk about you talked about growing up in church, singing gospel, singing in choirs, and you also done R&B, done love songs. Talk about the challenge of feeling like that you got to pick a lane.
Man,
what has it felt like as an artist? Talk about the struggle. Talk about the internal struggle that you may have with that some people may not necessarily understand. Can you kind of detail that out for us?
Yeah. So for me, that's just be honest. That is difficult to navigate, whether it be gospel music or R&B music, and having done both. I'll say I've experienced successes on both sides. Of course, the gospel side with Sunday best and things of that type of nature, and then the R&B side, got some nice looks on the radio, did some touring, so on both sides, which is great. It's a struggle, and I'll get into what the struggle entails. But I'll say overall, I've really kind of gone with where my life has gone. Raised in a Christian home, grew up, fell in love with gospel music, of course. I've always had personal love for R&B music and different R&B artists like that. So I've always felt like, even with just who I am, I've always worked to just be who I feel and I know in my heart that God has made me to be. So I personally have never felt like, same thing what we say about judging a book by its cover, it's like one or the other. Like I feel like sometimes on the gospel music side of things, it's like certain people look at R&B and it's just like all of that is wrong. So for me, like I said, I look at my life and the transitions that my life have taken me through, and I'll say there were times when I was singing R&B music and I wasn't singing in my heart about things that should even been a part of my life based on my Christian beliefs and things of that nature.
Right.
And then there have been times when I felt it purely in my heart, like it's time for gospel music to come from me. This is where God is taking me right now. These are the things that are going on in my life that I feel the need that I wish to express. And then even now, being a Christian married man, now it's like there are things on the side of love music that I'm ready to talk about. You know what I mean? So it's
right
at this point for me.
Right.
I'm not so bent on what I feel certain audiences would think. I'm not bent on that. I'm not stuck on, I can't do this because of these people. I'm not even reading these things. Hold on. I'm just talking.
Well, your wife got her hands lifted. Your wife got her hands lifted. I don't know what that's about.
Right. What's up, wife? Mrs. Lewis?
I see you now.
Right. Hey, yeah. So no, man. Honestly, bro, like I said, at the end of the day, for me, I really, 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 I'm honestly trying to focus less on what people think, bro. I hate to say it. What people think, and also focus more on what God thinks, and just do what I love to do, and at the end of the day, for me, what's in me is gonna come out. So, I'm rolling with it. I'm vibing with it. Just making
Talk
music.
about the challenge of, if you can. I know you lost your dad at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the struggle of what that was like after losing him so early. How that shaped your career, how that shaped your decision making as a man, and just what you learned. Like, what's some of the greatest lessons that you learned from him?
My dad. This is so cool. First of all, like nobody asked me this, so I appreciate that.
Hey man, this artist to artist, man, we got to dive deeper. We got to dive a little deeper, man.
100%.
100%.
So,
bro.
yeah. So, I'm the youngest of three. My dad passed away when I was 13 years old, which would probably make my sister was probably 15, I would say, and my brother was maybe 18 or 19 away at college. So my experience, even with my father, were probably the most limited out of all of us, because my father left our home actually when I was 8 years old. So I've got like stronger childhood memories of him. I remember coming in the living room at night when my mom and dad were being there watching TV and it was time to go to bed. You got to kiss your mom and dad on the cheek, give them a hug. I remember stuff like that. Of course, I remember the musical influence that he has left with me, which really, really, really is huge for me in terms of my passion in regards to music and being an artist and a musician. So I'll say honestly, bro, my memories of my dad are, I kind of just only remember the good stuff. I know everything wasn't good in reality from our family conversations, but for me, I was like I said, I was the baby, so I caught the good vibes, which I feel like I'm grateful to God for that. So yeah, it was never a bad father. Loved us, loved my mom.
Yeah.
And that's just honestly, that's all I know. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I even got a picture when I was really little. I'm standing in the living room with a shirt on and a diaper, holding the microphone, and my dad, you can see my father's hands on his keyboard. And I
saw that picture.
That's
you posted. I think you posted that on Father's Day last year.
Yeah. So even my friends were talking about me. Yeah. I probably did. I'm sure I did. Yeah. But that's what I remember.
So
yeah, great question.
Talk about you got married last year. I had the honor and privilege of standing with you in your wedding, and I also have the honor of knowing I've actually known your wife longer than you've known her, which is hilarious.
Right.
So you have a wonderful wife.
Yeah.
Talk about what marriage means to you. Talk about what it means to be married, and where you see yourself growing into as a married man and eventually as a father. Where do you see yourself growing into as a man?
Yeah. Marriage is everything. I love my wife. Hey, Christy. I honestly got to a certain place in my life where I was just like, man, upon meeting her and us dating, of course, it was just like where I saw myself as a man
Mm-hmm.
I needed her. Like I need my wife. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
one thing I see about marriage is, man, marriage takes it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of positive work. And if nothing else, marriage has been a wonderful opportunity for me to see, not even wonderful all the time, I ain't gonna lie, for me to see myself. And that's actually kind of the hardest part, is the fact that when you're married, like, I'm sorry, man, boyfriend, girlfriend, even fiance, yeah, as much as y'all know y'all want to be married and be together forever, marriage is when that kind of that mirror goes up and you're able to see yourself. And it honestly can even get ugly when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. So I think that's really what it is, but it's also kind of like the best thing that can happen for you, because now you see yourself, right? But so I thank God for my wife, and I thank God for that, because it's a lot out here that I wish to accomplish. And even upon being married for, around a year now, it's like, honestly, it's like, man, God done opened up some doors and, got some things popping since we done got married, which is like super cool. So there's victory in marriage. There is victory in marriage. And it's a lot of work. A lot of people see it on the surface or see it from the outside, and it looks beautiful, because it is beautiful. It's a lot of work too. And like I said, the main thing for me is like, man, I can see myself, but at the end of the day, those things that I see challenge me to be better, and ultimately will help me grow into really, really, really who God has called me to be. And I can be that with my wife, you know what I mean, versus anything else. So it's just what I believe, is what I see. Yeah.
We're sitting here chopping it up with Jamel Michael Lewis, just a great person, great singer, phenomenal, just a great mind. And we're brothers, so just us sitting here talking now, we talk like this every day. So just so y'all know, y'all just happen to be on the inside conversation. And what's funny is I've been throwing out this idea of me wanting to do this, and I throw a lot of my ideas off of Jamel, and Jamel's always a person that is extremely supportive. And you know how you got people in your corner that you go to, not that they're a yes person. He's never a yes person, but he's a go person. There's a big difference. Everybody needs a go person, not a yes person.
Yeah.
The person that says, go do it, bro. Go. I got you. Go, go, go. Get you go people in your corner, not yes people. Yes people tell you yes to stupid stuff. They don't even listen to what you're saying. But go people know you, they know your heart, and they're gonna push you. We had the privilege, man, of working on several projects together, but the one project that really sticks out to me was when we worked on the Urban Notebook together in the years between 2007 and 2009. It was like a 2-year process. We were working on this record, and I really, really, really got to know, first of all, with you and your sister, how hilarious y'all were. Just the jokes we would be cracking. Everybody. But then, like, when it came to work, when it came to like getting stuff done, like how you just got stuff done. And I want to talk a little bit about Runaway.
Stacy, everybody. That's
Jamel, Stacy, Kim,
so
man.
Much fun.
I was gonna say somebody else, but I would. I ain't gonna do it.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
You know you was married.
Come on, we gotta keep on.
I didn't know. I did not know.
Hey. No, but seriously, that Urban Notebook, J. Shep, the Urban Notebook.
Urban Notebook. And I needed people around me. So just transparency's sake, after doing my first project, Songs Volume 1, with Another Level, which was another phenomenal project, I wanted to go in such a different direction that I almost had to have a different crew of people with me that was going to be super non-judgmental of what I wanted to do. Man. And so I had, you know, I had just, did y'all lose me? Can you hear me? Good. I think I'm back now. Hold on one second. Seems like my mic is going out. Can you hear me? I think we. All right, I'm back. I'm back. I can hear myself now. I was newly married, and my group Another Level had just kind of disbanded a little bit, and I needed just a different type of energy around me to get some things done that I wanted to do, especially because I was going to be singing on this project. And as an artist, the biggest thing that we want is to be comfortable enough to create what we want to create without being judged internally. And so what I felt when I was working with you guys was that I wasn't being judged internally. Now, some things y'all would be laughing at, but it would be like, man, you crazy. All right, let's do it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so when it came down to when I wrote Runaway, I was like, I'm going to sing this song. But I was like, I can't sing this by myself. So I called you in there with me.
Yeah.
And we record Runaway, which honestly it may be my biggest song. I don't know, Blessings is kind of growing. Like Blessings is growing.
Like that. See, because you in the stream area, so you getting it popular with the streams and all that, and Spotify and Apple Music. Now I ain't trying to hear
it's
that.
Doing this thing. Go to Spotify. Go listen to all of it.
Right.
When I think of like songs like Connectivity, when we used to do Runaway live, the connectivity that we would have, and how people would be coming to me saying that song touched me.
Yeah.
Man, like there's no greater feeling of an artist than having that. I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and because you were in the studio as we did this, so I want you to give me recall of what you remember on certain parts of the song.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
Runaway. I can't hear it. Hold on.
You can't hear? None of it?
Let's get it. Unless that's me. Y'all know I know it anyway.
All right. Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear it at all? All right. So I want to get from you the end of the song when it got like real emotional. It got so emotional for me. You can't hear it, Chris? Okay, I don't know what's going on. All right, I think my what's the name went out. Can y'all hear me though?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. I'm gonna have to reestablish this connection. But how did you like when the song got to that emotional part? What was going through your mind as you were? Because because you had to basically keep your cool. Like, did it surprise you? Because, like, honestly, for me, as you were singing, I just felt this wave come over me. So, like, what do you recall from that time when we were recording that song? What are your memories of that?
Honestly, even from the first time I heard the song, I remember you playing it and singing it. Even that, like, dude, I connected with the lyric. Like, even the same way of you saying that being your biggest song in the long run, in the end, or like people identifying with the song saying, "Oh, it touched me, it touched me." It's honestly, it lies within the lyric. So for me, even when what was the bridge? Lord, I want to come home. Take me into your arms. You know what I mean? Like, I was a runaway. So it's like, dude, you asking me to sing Runaway. It was really more of a connection to the lyric than even, oh, vocally, what am I going to do? Or what, how is this going to feel? So even I remember us jumping in the booth. You were in one booth, I was in the next booth. And even the way that vibe came about. Yeah. It was really the song, being able to connect and relate so easily with the songs. It's like the same way you mentioned, like, versus being a yes person, being a go person, or being that go friend. It was like I was in the trenches with you on that song because I could that easily identify with that song for myself. So it's like, even being honest, I didn't know, had it not been for that song, of your story of being in that place. So that was a further, you know what I mean? To me, the connection came honestly just within the lyric of like, man, so the fact that you opened that song up to me to be on it with you, it was like, man, the easiest place for me to go is the fact that I have that, a similar story in that regard. So I remember that, bro. I remember cutting it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, it's funny when my kids hear it, my kids are like, "Are you crying on there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh, okay." Like, it used to be, like, I remember when I was getting it edited, when it was going to get mixed, and Carnell Pickett mixed it, and he was like, "Do you still want this in here?" He asked me, because he didn't just take it out. He said, right, "Hey, you left this in here. Do you want this?" And at first I told him, "No, I don't want it. Take it out." Right. But then I thought about it artistically. See, I wasn't thinking about radio. I wasn't thinking about would it sell. I wasn't thinking about anything other than the authenticity of how the prodigal son felt when he got back home. Yeah. When he got back home, he had to be in tears. Right. He couldn't have been, "Hey, Pops, hey, yo, let me back in, yo." Right. Hey, Dad, I've been gone for about 5 years, but can I get my room back? Right. You know what I'm saying? So when the prodigal son got back home, he had to have been a mess. Right. He had been out there eating with pigs. He had been out there real bad. And so at the end of that song, that wasn't anything I planned. I wasn't like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna cry at the end of the song." After we do this, like, bridge. What was funny was we was all smiles all through the verses. We was like laughing, we was joking, like everybody was in the other booth. My wife, Jamise, Kim, everybody was in the control room. Neil, they was all in the control room listening, like, "Yeah, man, this sounded cool." Then when it turned, it was like, whoa, like that turned, like, what happened? It got real, and like, I've never had a moment like that in the studio. Even since then, I haven't had a moment that got that real that fast. It got real in an instant. Yeah. Like it's like I felt the presence of God instantaneously. like instantaneously. So yeah, man, like that project, the Urban Notebook. What's because I'll never ask you this. Outside of Runaway, what's your favorite song from that project?
You know what I like? I like the one. It's gonna sound bad because I sang the hook, so I'm not picking it because of that. But I remember the vibe from Choose Life. Would you throw my life away?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that because
what would you do?
In the same sense of like Runaway, that's one of those things that people don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Having to make a decision. Look, matter of fact, being a runaway, running away from God and who God has called you to be, and then you find yourself in a decision where you could be having a child out of wedlock or whatever different situation in your life it could be after you've run away from God. You know what I mean? To me, that song was powerful too. So it's like, man, even I want to go back to what tripped out as an artist, bro. Our best work comes when we're most vulnerable. But then it's funny because in reality, in real life, you're judged for being that vulnerable. Like, I find that very interesting. Let's not to go back, but let's go back to Kanye West.
Yeah.
He's great as an artist because he's gonna give you everything he has, whatever he's thinking, whatever he's feeling, he's gonna give you that. Any artist that you like, they give you that. Cardi B is giving you Cardi B, and people are liking that. Anybody.
I ain't gonna lie, them tracks hot, bro.
Bro, the more you give of yourself artistically, the more
Cardi B got some hot tracks.
A lot of people say one of their favorite songs for me would be either New Tradition or I get Use Me a lot. Use Me is my runaway. That's my song of saying I've done, out of all of the things that I've done wrong, all the times I messed up, all of my sins, all those things, God, you still forgiven me and you still desire to use me. So here I am, you can use me. A lot of times people say, man, oh man, you should perform that song more. I love that song. That's my favorite song. It's my favorite song. That's my most vulnerable song. But in real life, I don't think we always want that from people. Even when you see in church, that's when they snatching the mic from people. You know what I mean? We exploit people when they're vulnerable. I ain't saying everybody deserves a mic, but we exploit people.
Like the homeless lady.
Bro, everybody got their opinion of that. Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Some will say, oh, it's a time and a place. Oh, you know, some people say, oh, they should have been loving on that lady, which I agree with. But it's like, when people are vulnerable in real life, it's not accepted.
Yeah.
It's not accepted as often.
Yeah.
So, but.
Yeah. What would you do, man? It's like it was so crazy because like the Urban Notebook for me was a concept album. And there were some people who did not understand why I did that. They were like, when I did it, I had people calling me, hitting me up, leaving like, yeah, why did you do this? And I was like,
shut up and make a live church album.
It literally, but I had done that. And I knew I would do another one eventually. But literally, I remember what sparked my idea to do Urban Notebook. I had a high school friend that was murdered. Her name was Naila Franklin. She got murdered by an ex-boyfriend. And that case, it really bothered me. Like when I started hearing the details of what happened in that case, it bothered me. And I really started praying. I was like, I want to do something musically that's going to maybe speak to more situations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not
Yep.
that the music would bring her back or like, but that situation right there was like, I need to be a little bit more aware of what people are going through in urban America. So I'm going to do something that's going to lend itself to that realm. And I had people saying, oh, you trying to be T-Pain, you trying to be, and so like for me at the time, it was hurtful because I felt like, no, man, like it's still me, you know, this is still me, but you know, like this is just a different vibe. And but then when we would go other places, like I still remember there was some churches that absolutely loved it. They would bring us in, we would do full concerts, and they'll be like, man, I love that. You know, so as artists, I feel like when God gives us the inspiration to create whatever's coming to you, and don't worry about who the audience is going to be.
Yeah.
Because even someone who's in your space, where you do, sometimes you do R&B, sometimes you do gospel, and there are going to be people who are like, you sing praise and worship, and you do this. And so, you know, I understand why it's going to be, because iron does sharpen iron, and there are levels of accountability that we do need to have. I feel that as gospel artists, as ministers, I believe in accountability. But when you start getting inspired to create something, I say create it and say, God, there's an audience for this. You're going to have to direct me to the audience. And I think one issue that a lot of artists have is that we feel that one audience should stay our audience the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And so I felt like anyone who had bought my first project, who loved, you know, How Great Thou Art and Sacrifice of Praise, you should equally love Feel Good. You should love Feel Good because I did Sacrifice of Praise.
Right.
That was my thinking. Well, they love the sacrifice of praise. And then here I come out, I got something I can sing. And it's like, wait a minute, you bring auto-tune? Like, why? What do you? I want you to speak to this.
I ain't trying to listen to no J. Shep.
I'm sorry.
Listen, man, it's hilarious because you were there through some random shows, bro.
We had some queens, man.
I remember the show in Peoria. For me, it felt like such a low point. It felt like I felt low. It was, when I tell you, we went to Peoria, y'all. We had on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So you already know that's a setup.
Yes.
People getting off work. The show started at 7. Didn't nobody get off work until after 5:30, 6 o'clock. So we basically leaving Chicago around 6:30 to drive to Peoria. So it already started off wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
So we drive into Peoria, and I got the bright idea that I'm going to bring my whole setup, my computer, my interface, my microphone, and I'm gonna set this up, and we're gonna sing, and I'm gonna sing with my auto-tune, no matter what. I don't know what the sound system is.
In church. And here we go. Like, yeah, let's do it.
In an old Baptist church, bro. I said I was gonna do it no matter what. Needless to say,
come on, inner Kanye.
Right.
That was your inner Kanye.
That was my inner Kanye. No, not thinking about nothing.
We either gonna lead worship, or I'm gonna bring my auto tools and set up Pro Tools in this church.
Real talk, bro.
Set up auto-tune.
Real talk. Real talk. And so, needless to say, that bombed. And I felt real low. I felt real low. And I still remember we went to eat. I think we went to Denny's or something afterwards. And you looked at me and you said, bro, I don't care. I'm still with you. And then you started laughing. But she was like, bro, I don't care about that.
Yep.
Like, I'm here on a Friday night in Peoria. It took forever to get here. And that wasn't a great situation, but I'm with you. So things like that, man, like, is what make a real brotherhood. It's what makes people great. It's what pushes us to do what we do. Let the people know what else you're working on. I know you got some shows coming up.
Yes.
Tell the people what you got in the kitchen, what you got cooking, what you got brewing for us.
We cooking. More music is on the way. Number one. So definitely be on the lookout. We'll be streaming anything that comes up musically. Front and center. Jamel Lewis Music is where you can find everything on any other social handles. But seriously, man, May 10th is a very, very, very special event we're doing in Chicago at Baseline. That's a Thursday. Thursday, May 10th. We are having a Simply Beautiful soiree, is what we like to call it. Me and my business partner Charles Alexander, you know, he was just on here earlier, my brother, just came up with an idea. You see so many women working and starting businesses or doing different things in their communities. So we just decided that with as many shows and things that we put together and do, we actually wanted to kind of just honor women. It's fairly close to Mother's Day, so we wanted to just have a nice little gathering where we honored a few women. So we have 7 honorees that we will be honoring that evening. We'll be on the south side at Baseline on 22nd and Michigan, 2239 South Michigan Avenue, Thursday, May 10th. And we'll be honoring the women. I'll be doing a live acoustic set, doing some nice, the nostalgic R&B classics I'll be doing that night. So just really think it's a super dope event for anybody that's interested in that. Just celebrating women that have done great things and are doing great things in their community, that have started organizations or started their own businesses, different things like that. So it's really for everybody. We're celebrating everybody. We'll have complimentary champagne, chocolate covered strawberries for women that come out and have a good time with us. So just trying to do some different things, man, and touch on some of those points that we see not being ignored, but just putting emphasis on different areas that we see. Like we've got even one of our honorees is she owns her own cleaning service. I've used her cleaning service, exquisite cleaning services, LaShante Gordon. I went to school with her, and just having used her services, physically seeing the work that she does, it's like people like that deserve to be celebrated. So that's really the main thing. Everything we do, we wish to attach it to something or somebody that's doing something positive where they are. So like I said, May 10th, Baseline, 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. Live music by myself, and it's gonna be a great vibe. May 10th.
That's good. So I know you're in the studio working on music. I saw you. I've been watching your Instagram posts.
Yeah, man.
What's the vibe What's the vibe that you're working on right now?
Love and music. That's what everything is. Love and music. Probably next up will be a song called Beautiful. So just telling the women you're beautiful the way God made you. Don't change a thing. Just do you. So that's what we're doing. Look out for that. Yeah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Love and music. That's what we're doing. So like you said, keep up with the Instagram, all of that. That's where you can find me, Jamel Lewis Music, on anything. You know what's going on. So definitely been in the studio working. Definitely working on these live shows, putting them together the right way. So looking forward to seeing and hearing from everybody too. So Definitely.
Are you on
appreciate the support.
SoundCloud?
Yes,
you
I
on
am.
SoundCloud?
Jamel
Okay.
Michael Lewis on SoundCloud.
What's your SoundCloud? Jamel Lewis, Michael Lewis SoundCloud?
It should be Jamel Lewis Music, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's Jamel Lewis Music. I pretty much got everything like that. The Twitter, Instagram, all of that is Jamel Lewis.
All right,
Music.
we're gonna get you out of here on a couple more questions.
Yeah.
What do you feel is the state of? How do you feel about the state of the music industry right now, as it pertains to, you know, what artists have to do now to stay relevant with putting out content?
Yeah.
How you feel about streaming and you know, just the tools that artists have now compared to when you first started?
Yeah. The music, while I say the music industry has always been the music industry, it's changing. It's always changing. It's always evolving. So as an artist, overall, you have to kind of stay like mentally sharp and ahead, so to speak, of where you can kind of see things going, so to speak. So I'll say where we are now with streaming and even kind of where record labels and radio are kind of sitting right now, I would say it's actually a beautiful time to be an artist, because I just feel like it's a lot of things at your fingertips. Sometimes it's kind of tough to kind of get a grasp on what exactly works for you. But I think this is the perfect climate for you to figure out what works for you and do that and be able to win and sustain a successful music career. It might not look like what we deemed a successful career even 10 years ago, but I feel like you said, between streaming, YouTube alone, like you can monetize in that regard. You got Instagram, you got all these social media platforms, SoundCloud, you got all these avenues to get music out to anyone around the world. We're sitting here streaming live now. Anybody anywhere that wants to see this can see this right now. You know what I mean? So I feel like there are actually, in my opinion, more opportunities to be a successful musician the way things are now, but it's also maybe tougher to navigate because of that same fact that almost anybody can do it now, and you know, only you can do what you're capable of doing. But I think the opportunities are better. So even for myself, bro, it's really just maintaining and finding ways to navigate and do different things, you know, remain creative and keep going. The fact for me has been, over the last 10 plus years, I have been able to just sustain my career and be able to still have opportunities to do things. So like, I'm grateful for that, to be able to still be doing this, you know, for so long. Still able to release music, still able to shoot videos, still able to do live events and all of that, and still have a platform and still have a voice. So, you know,
I feel like
taking advantage of it.
I feel the exact same way. I think with music is not sports. There's some similarities to sports.
Yeah.
But eventually Kobe had to retire.
Yeah. Right.
Kobe had to hang the sneakers up. Eventually, what LeBron did last night, he's not gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? We're watching the last few times of him doing that. And with music, you have the opportunity. You have not a 3, 4, 5 year window. You have a lifetime window.
Yep.
There's a lifetime window for you to create content, be relevant, monetize your relevance, make a living, and create and build whatever it is that you're designed to build. Right. I feel like artists, I'm really into artists not making any excuses. There's no excuse anymore. There's no excuse to not having music out. There's no excuse to you not putting some kind of a show or a tour together. You got to work through it. And what I've seen you do is you put in the work, and wherever you need to regroup, you regroup. And whatever you need to fix, you fix. And you get in there and you dive into it headstrong. So this is going to be the last question. So, you know, let's say you're 99 years old. You and Christy had your 5 kids. You got your your 30 grandchildren or whatever you got. And you've done all the records you're gonna do. You toured, and the Lord said, okay, on your 100th birthday, I'm gonna let you see it, but I'm gonna call you to heaven the next day. And the Lord said you can listen to 3 songs before you leave this earth. What's gonna be the 3 songs you listen to before you leave this earth?
That's really, 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 really good. So the calling
Get
card
ready,
on my
Christy.
Life. Right. My calling card right now is definitely New Tradition. So I got to listen to that one. Because I feel like for my life, I just wish to love people and encourage people. I want people to be encouraged. I want people to know God. I want people to know Jesus. So, and even in general, if you choose that or not, I love you. So that's my calling card. That's one. If I'm 100 years old, I already know that the blessings done fail. So blessings are falling down on me. Blessings are falling down on me. Yeah, I'm literally, I could keep singing that right now. Literally. Third song. My favorite worship song. I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. Yeah, I would listen to that. That's like, that's my, if nothing else, that's my favorite worship song. Period. Yeah. So if I
That's
live
a powerful
to see
3 songs right there.
I'm gonna sing that one.
That's a powerful 3 right there. You can't argue with that.
Blessings are falling more than anything. I'm finna go listen to all 3 of those actually. Yeah.
Listen to all 3 of those, man. Well, man, I thank you, man, for sitting down and taking time out of your schedule, man. I appreciate it. You guys, thanks for tuning in. I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I usually like to play music as we go out. But I appreciate you guys jumping in. Feel free to share this. And for those of you all who are watching on the rebroadcast, make sure that you there should be some sort of little button that you can click for every time I go live. That this show goes live, you'll be able to know and be notified. But I want you guys to be blessed. I want you guys to understand, as artists, it's your responsibility to create and put your content out. And I hope that somebody here who watched this got the information that they needed. I hope you guys were informed. And most of all, I want you guys to be inspired. All right, guys, this is Shep, Artist2Artist. Peace and blessings.